up I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up.
Chunky Check Fridays, Alberto did not get a physical check, but because we're trying to make sure that the process is done the right way. But I'm sure he got a notification that he got paid $16,000 today. Now, my advice to you is not to spend it as fast as you're spending the rest of the money.
Not another $5,000 dog.
Hey, remember this. You're still broke if you're spending all of it. You're still broke.
Like 3 months of my car.
No, don't do. Oh my God. Who the fuck is. Can I ask you who the fuck is giving you guys this type of advice?
You have to leverage debt.
Yes, bro.
Be liquid at all times. What do I tell you? Be liquid at all times.
I'm just saying. Look, you know, let me. I want to say something about that. You know why you're fucking doing that? You don't trust yourself and putting in the same amount of work and making the same amount of money or more a month. That's why the fuck you're doing that. You're like, I want some leeway.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
true. People do that.
Leeway.
I did the same shit with my apartment.
And guess what? And what happened? What happened? Tell us your story.
Closer.
Oh shit.
No, look, guys, we're in
Dude,
the studio with Johnny Corona, and yeah, right. This is why we need the little sound. But anyways, Johnny, you know, this is this is what I'm talking about. Okay, I know Danny did it. I know you did it. I know you did it, and this is a perfect example of why you shouldn't do it. Right? First and foremost, the exact same reason I just told you why you're actually doing it, because you don't trust yourself. Maybe you want to slack off and say, well, I already paid that, so I don't really have to go hard or work hard. Okay? Maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken, right? But Johnny did the same shit. And Johnny's in the studio, and Johnny has a unique story that if he wants to tell it, we're trying to keep it short, but if you want to tell it to people, you definitely can.
Do it.
I was about to rap about it, bro.
So talk to me about how that worked and the following months that came with your decision and paying 3 to 4 months ahead of time.
Oh yeah, it went fantastic. So how it worked out is I paid 3 months in advance because I thought, okay, you know, just in case, right? It wasn't my month. Obviously that's not how it works. It all depends on like how much work you're gonna put in, right? So in all reality, I did that, and then I found myself comfortable even more. So in all reality, I put myself in that position where I wasn't working as much as I was. So I fucked myself over. Can we cuss?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, cool. But yeah, and then from that point forward, I started owing rent. You know what I mean? So instead of putting money to the side and making more, I ended up owing those 3 months anyway because I was comfortable. So yeah, but then once I started doing month by month, it was different. Yeah, I started working harder. I was like, damn, I gotta pay my rent. But then I was like, hey, I got this money in my bank. So you know, in a sense, you give yourself motivation because you see the money there, and at the same time, you know you have expenses every month. So they both, you know what I mean? Like they both go together. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a saying that says if you want to do more, get yourself some debt. That's what it says, right? Most people, what they do is they want to pay off something so that they don't work more, which is the fucking opposite of what you should be doing. Yeah, and Fernando knows this because Fernando always tells me, man, when he first started, I don't know if his mindset was there, but now it's different. Like when we have a conversation, what he tells me is, man, there's really no fucking secret to this, huh? There's really no fucking secret. All I gotta do is put in the work, God. I'm like, that's all you gotta do. Johnny knows this is true. Yeah. You know, but I always say that even though you're putting in your work and you might be tired and you might be exhausted, right? Whatever the hell it is, like when you see your bank account there, when you're able to eat, when you have the things that you wanted, the things that you want and the cars that you want to drive, like there's a different fulfillment. Yeah. That's different. You know what I mean? So don't do that because you're going to get comfortable. That $16,000 check you just got, dude, you're going to fucking blow it in 2 months. And then what's going to happen is you're going to get stuck from the beginning again. Don't let your pipeline dry out ever, ever, ever. A true professional knows what he's going to make day per day, week per week, month by month, year by year.
And also take into consideration that how long did it take you to get those $16K? You know, how much effort was it? All to just put it into something that's already going to be paid anyway a month, you know? Yeah. So,
and the main reason I did this is because like, I want to pay off one of my cars to get approved for another car, but
You're so fucked up. So that's it's good because it's like it's funny how like people get into this industry and then the time management, like the money management comes into play, which before it never really did because you really never had any fucking money to manage. That's true. Right? So like it's good problems. Does that make sense? It's good problems. So
That's why millionaires are the people that win the lottery. They spend that shit in like a year, 2 years.
yeah, exactly. There's no money management skills.
First thing they do is they buy a house and then not have money to maintain that house.
Right.
Yeah, they buy a $30 million home and then the tax eats them up and then yep.
You can't continue. That's true. That's true.
That's exactly what happens, man.
You gotta know the game.
We're already getting into money management, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things you talked about is don't put all your money out there.
Don't put all your money in one basket.
one
That's
basket,
what I'm trying to say.
In one basket, and you had an experience with that. One of the things that we can talk about now is you were talking about being a professional. How do you know what to do every month, right? Keep that momentum going. So how do you keep that momentum going? Because you already have the money. You already have seeing the results. How do you keep that momentum going?
Fernie, this is easy. And you know this. When you have momentum, you have to still do something, but it's easier to obtain things than it is when you don't have momentum. So it's like that analogy of that. What is that? What is that toy at the park called? The one that goes around.
I thought you meant the snowball effect.
That's
horse,
true too.
the horses one.
No,
The merry-go-round?
the merry-go-round, right? Where somebody pushes it.
It's hard as fuck at first.
Right, it's hard as fuck to push it, and you're driving, right? You're driving with your legs, with your arms, and you're pushing, and you're running around the whole thing, and there's kids on the top of it, and once it starts to get going, then one of them jumps in, and then you jump out, and you just once it has momentum, all you got to do is just continue to hit it a little bit, a little slap, and the momentum will continue to increase as you do that.
But notice how like you still have to add a little slap as it's still going. So you
Yes,
always have to
exactly.
do a little bit more.
You always have to do a little bit more to continue with that momentum. That is the easiest way to make more money, dude. When you have momentum, if you do more, everything comes easy. As a matter of fact, Alberto was closing some deals, and then he closed one deal, he closed another deal, and on the third deal, he calls me and says, "This is getting easier," right? And it got easier because his attitude changed, right? He had momentum. His attitude was just off the charts. He's had success. He was seeing results. So every time he sat with somebody, he passed on all those emotions, right? He passed on all that energy to them. And then they felt comfortable and like, man, this guy's good. And I'm sure he didn't look desperate like he did at the beginning, right? I had a situation where like I had a guy sit with me, and the guy was just like I was trying to close a client, and unfortunately we couldn't close the client for whatever X reason. And this guy was like, no, we could have done this. We could have done that. We could have done this. We could have done that. And it's because the guy was new. He sounded desperate, and then he would interrupt me, right? The whole time. He would, and this happens with everybody in the industry when you're coming in, and that's perfectly fine, right? And that's why, and people smell that. Does that make sense? When you act like that, people feel like all you want to do is get something out of them, and they're not getting something from you. Does that make sense? And that's why when everything's going the right way, it's easier to close people because your attitude's good, the success is there, the results are there, and then that energy's passed on, and it's almost like you don't care to make the sale, and people feel it. They're like, oh my God.
Positively indifferent.
Yeah, there you go. It's a great word. And that's exactly how it works, And that's, when you have momentum, all you got to do is just continue to do the same things. As a matter of fact, when you go to the gym and you get buff, all you got to do is maintain. So you don't have to go to the gym for 2 hours anymore, right? All you got to do is just 1 hour, lift, the right parts, right? Do your cardio, and you can still go eat. And you'll stay at the same weight.
So
nothing will change.
So Johnny, when you started in the company, you had momentum, right? And then you got comfortable.
Yep.
And to get back up, it was another mission.
Yeah. Getting back up, that mission is completely different. It's one of the most difficult out of everything, because I'd say starting up again, because first of all you don't have the attitude, then you have to reevaluate what you were doing before, which nothing really changes, right? The biggest thing is just because you've been out of the game for being comfortable, then you don't have that momentum. You don't have that same energy. One thing I can say though is the universe works in your favor, but it also works. Well, no, yeah, it works in your favor. But the biggest thing is that it teaches you the lesson that you need to learn. That's why it'll always work in your favor. So it might not give you what you need, or sorry, what you want, but it'll give you what you need. So yeah.
I think that the one thing I want to say about that is like it does the universe gives you the lesson that it wants to teach you, but it's up to you if you want to pick it up
Right.
and run with it.
Right.
You know, because there's a lot of lessons that the universe teaches us, but I see a lot of guys just give up. You know, they give up and that's it, and the lessons never learned. It's like it doesn't make any sense, right?
Because they always go with Plan B.
Yeah, I always go with Plan B, and that's why like you get posted up that soccer thing that Thierry Henry said, right? Where like he was like the girl asked him, and this Thierry Henry is one of the best soccer players ever, right? French national player, just Arsenal, every huge club that you can think about he played, and he's now an announcer. And the girl said, "Hey, if you weren't a football player."
Oh, I seen
Right?
that.
If you weren't a footballer, what else would you have done? And he's like, an amateur footballer. And he's like, wait, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, an amateur footballer. He's like, okay, well, you would have been a broke, average amateur footballer. And he said, but I would have been a footballer.
Yeah.
So he had no plan B,
Right.
plan A. That's it. And that's why he got to where he got.
And that's one of the things I always see you mention. Winners don't have a plan B.
They will shit to happen. They will shit to happen. And I'm telling you, fellas, like this is how it works. And it's because it's not because you're the smartest guy in the room. It's just that there's this fucking aura of energy and belief that shit is gonna happen. And you're gonna put this massive energy behind it, and all of a sudden everybody picks up that fucking energy and everybody runs with it. You know, it's crazy, but it only takes one guy to fucking will one shit to happen or something to happen, and everybody starts feeling it. Everybody starts fucking moving with the energy, and everybody starts doing, and then just the fucking universe starts giving to us. And that's exactly how it works. It takes one fucking guy to will shit to happen. This is fucking true, dude. Right? This is true. But you just have to believe. There's other people that are not going to believe. They're not going to pick it up. You know, oh, that guy's a joke. Fuck, it's ridiculous. And those people that always say that's a joke or that guy's ridiculous, they're the fucking guys that they're on selling shit. They're the guys that are home, yeah. They're guys that are home, they're battling
the same
all the fucking time, man. All the time.
They're always rejecting something new.
Exactly. If you're not changing, bro, you're not growing. If you're not changing, you're not growing. Growing is part of life. And here's the thing: there's 3 certainties in life, right? One is what? Death. What's the second one?
Taxes.
What's the third one?
I don't know that one. Being born.
You guys know it? It's fucking change. We're bound to fucking change, and people don't understand that. They fight it. They fight it because they hate change. You know, and if you manage to understand that, you're gonna grow. You're gonna be a better individual. You're gonna do bigger and better things.
So talking about growth, one of the biggest things when you're in business is the stress that you have to go through to grow, right? And that's one of the things we were talking about earlier is on the daily, how do you deal with imaginary problems, right? All that stress, oh, that client's calling me. Oh, this scenario could turn out this, but none of that happens.
Well, that's a great conversation, man. And here's the thing. Most of the problems we think are problems, they're not real fucking problems. Here are the fucking real problems. Your parents dying, cancer, your kids have an illness, right? Your kids can't walk, your kids were born with a deficiency, something. Those are real fucking problems. Everything else is bullshit, right? And people tend to make this... create these problems inside their head when they're really not problems. Example, in our business, right? When a client calls, here's how stupid this is. I'm gonna show you, this is how stupid this is. And I hear it from all the guys, right? And me and Fernando were having a conversation. This is where this is extended from. And I used to have the same thing. And it's like, but I realized that one thing, and here's the problem. Let me explain the problem. The first thing is somebody calls you. And if somebody calls you, what do you think? What do you think's happening? Johnny?
They have a question, usually.
Usually, that's a good response. What about you? Something's going on. Something's going on. How the fuck do you know something's going on? That's wrong, right? There's no way. You can't predict what's going on in people's minds. And why you're creating that problem? You're creating that expectation, not the client. Does that make sense? So then I realized that when I was in sales, I realized that. I'm like, literally, and this is why I put myself in their shoes, and I was like, if I was calling somebody, what would I want to hear? And it was just, I would just want to hear their voice. And them answering the phone and saying, hey, Mr. Roberto, how are you doing today? And they say, I'm doing great, man. Look, I had a question about this. Sure. How can I answer it? Great. You know what? That's the other department. What I want to do is I'm going to, connect you to somebody that can actually help you out with that. And if you have any more questions, call me back. And I'll be like, yeah, sounds fucking amazing. But a lot of people create problems where there's no problems. So Fernando was telling me about it, right? And I was telling Fernando, usually when somebody calls you, they just want to like make sure that what you promised them in the home, that you're actually going to fulfill. Deliver and fulfill, right? Like that's what you're going to do. And about, this is what I'm saying, like there's real problems and those are not problems. So you need to understand the situation. Now, here's what not to do. Not answer the phone. Okay? Because that then becomes what?
That's a real problem.
Because now it's not even a real problem. It's just the client's pissed at you.
Right. But you're creating that problem.
Because you're creating that problem. And now it does, and then the universe gave you what you were looking for.
Not
a problem.
Only that, but like it's funny because before what I would be like, oh damn, I hope everything's okay, right? And I would answer, be like, hey, I got a referral for you. I was like, oh shit.
That's what I was going to talk about next. That's exactly what I was going to talk about next. So we just had somebody sign a deal, correct? I don't know who it was. I forgot who the hell this was. And so I think it was in Los Baños. I don't know who it was. I forgot who it was.
You're talking about the guy who his dad wanted solar, but the other company, the guy wasn't answering the phone. That was me.
Do you see how crazy that is? The other guy probably created a problem in his head that never existed, and it was a client doing what?
Wanting a notice.
Dude, and this guy lost like $6,000-$7,000 for not answering his fucking phone. Mm-hmm. You need to understand that real problems are problems that you really, they're out of your hand. You cannot fix. Like something crazy, like I just mentioned, like cancer. Your family's going through something. Somebody died in your family. Those are real, and that's not even a problem. But it's more of a problem than it is picking up the phone and answering. Because most of the time we create problems, and it's also in relationships. If you notice that shit, like that's why people go crazy because they don't understand. Like human beings need a little bit of time off. Right? And even if they have that little bit of time off, they haven't called me, so they must be doing something wrong. Bro, there's literally songs in Spanish about this. People creating problems in their head that just don't exist. And what does that happen? It does nothing to it does nothing for your relationship. As a matter of fact, there's nothing that fucking solve whatever is going on. Right? It actually amplifies it and it creates a real problem because even in relationships, if somebody's like accusing you of doing something, you're not doing anything and you're going straight home and you're at work and all of a sudden you're like, man, this person fucking sucks. I can't even fucking concentrate. I can't even go to work. I can't even focus because they're ruining your fucking time. So it's counterintuitive. Now there's a problem. Now the relation starts to like deteriorate because you're like, bro, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I need that space. You know what I mean? People create problems. Imaginary problems we're not even there.
Most real problems are health. If you think about it physically, like what's happening with me. Mm-hmm. But then, everything else, even mental health is bullshit because I know a lot of people are like, pro mental health and all that. But it's like it all depends on what you're thinking about.
And that's right there. That is right there. Okay. What we were going to talk about next, which is majority of the problems are made up because you're not fully confident or you probably don't have a vision and you don't have something you're chasing that you want to actually accomplish and you're not staying busy. Right. And you're probably not confident in the way you feel like somebody else is macking on your girl while you're at work. Right. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Those are all fucking imaginary problems. As a matter of fact, if, we just talked about this, if you have a problem right? Let's pretend we're coming in here. I'm gonna give you guys a scenario. Let's say you guys are coming in here, right? And all of a sudden somebody calls you, and and you know that you're gonna do this podcast. You know that you're gonna talk, and they start saying, "Fuck, I don't know. Hey, I'm gonna sue you." When you walk in this podcast, before you walk in the podcast, what do you do?
Leave that shit at the door.
How do you do that?
We'll get to it when we get to it.
We get to it. We get to it. That's a good way. We get to it. When we
And
get
most
to
people are consumed by that thing throughout the whole day,
Right.
throughout the whole week.
Right.
it. So how do you do to change it though? If you're let's just pretend you're coming in here to close a multi-million-dollar deal. What do you do before you walk in to change your attitude?
You just assume that the deal's gonna close. You give him the best. You just think in your mind like I'm gonna do the best I can to offer him like the value, and then from there whatever happens because you're doing the best that you can do.
What do you do? What do you do? Somebody just hit you with that. Yeah. You got an email and somebody just said, "Hey, they're suing you for, $40,000."
Look at the positive and look at your outcome of what you're gonna be doing, and worrying about that later. And this can help me deal with that as well. So,
That's true. That's perspective. That's one way.
Change your perspective.
But is it really going to change right there and then? How do you do it? So here's one thing simply you could do.
Turn the phone off.
Focus on the present.
You can focus on the presence, right? But to change your attitude immediately, you can go off and do a fucking, I don't know. If you got some stairs near you, you could go ahead and do a fucking little hike for 5-6 minutes and say, "Hey, I'll be back. Give me 5-6 minutes." Right? And the your increase of heart rate during that exercise changes the way you feel.
Right, endorphins
And all that shit. It changes the way you feel. And now with that positive mindset or that perspective, hey, maybe if I close this deal, this will help me get rid of that. Right? Now those two things combined, right, they make you a stronger individual when you do walk into that. Because exercise is important, health is important, and the way you feel, bro. I always say that there's nothing better than feeling good about how you look. There really isn't, bro. There really fucking isn't. If you have a 6-pack, bro, I guarantee you think you're the shit even though you're broke as fuck. So think about that, dude. So health, and this is why we always tell the guys, go do exercise. Because what happens is me and Danny had a conversation about it. He's like, "Dude, I made so much money, but I'm still not happy."
Right.
So what's the problem there?
There's something missing.
There's something missing, and who come on, dude. And it goes vice versa. If you're fit but you don't have money, what happens? There's something
missing.
Yeah.
You have to have a balance between those two things.
And we were talking about that. I think it was off record, but the 4 pillars, right?
Yeah. The 4 pillars of life, right? The 4 pillars of life. The first one is family, finance, right? Health, and religion.
So spirituality, health, wealth, and
religion.
family.
Family,
There
yeah,
you go.
sorry. Yeah.
Relationships. basically.
And you're never gonna have to you can never have a complete balance because you're not gonna be great at one thing if you're trying to do all the things, but you can always stop that column from bringing down your house. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You can always go back and say, "Holy shit, I've been concentrated so much on the business, but this week I'm gonna go run back and concentrate on my family, and then just give them an amazing vacation." 2-3 days, play, do all this shit, take them places they've never been before, but actually be present and do the things you need to do. And that's what you can do.
So work and life balance does not exist, right?
No,
That's
bro.
one of the things we preach. Work-life balance does not exist.
Not if you want to be great.
And that's the thing.
Did you hear what he said? Not if you want to be fucking great. If you want to be mediocre, yes, it does exist. I'll tell you that. And that's perfectly fine.
You'll be stagnant and then you won't be happy. So it all goes back to the same shit.
Exactly. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It all goes back in circles because then you realize, okay, well, I have balance, but I'm still driving my shitty car, and I have balance, but now I got a flat tire and that fucked up my whole day. Holy shit, right? Flat tire fucked up your whole day. Wow. Why is that? Well, because you have balance and you never decided to be great at one thing, you know? And then still with your family, you're still fucking mediocre, right? Because you're balanced, you're still mediocre. It's not like you're being the best dad in the whole fucking world, because guess what? You still got to go home and you still got to go to work. Sorry, you still got to go to work, a 9 to 5, and you're still spending minimal time with them.
Right.
Right.
Not even quality.
And then people are like, how do you actually do it to be great at something? Well, dude, you got to have energy all fucking day. And how do you do that if you're overweight and you're not healthy? How do you do that?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, if you exercise, you guys ever notice that, you know, even though you fucking hate waking up and going to the gym, and then but right after the gym, you're like, holy shit, you got like this jolt of energy.
And the thing is, too, is like what I've noticed, because I've recently gotten back into it, is I also feel anxious when I don't do it. I feel like I have like all this energy pent up, and then I start feeling something weird. I'm like, fuck, dude, what is it? But then I'm like, shit, I don't want to work out today. I'm like, fuck it. Let me start. Once I start actually like going through my whole exercise, by the end of it, I'm like, oh shit, I don't feel so weird, like anxious anymore.
Yeah, I feel like you release all that negative energy, all that tension.
Yep.
Yeah, that's dude.
It resets you.
It resets your I think it's physiology, right? I think that's the term. It resets your whole body, dude. Just
Yeah, I mean,
exercise.
think about it. Like if you're not moving, you're not doing anything. Your heart rate's at a certain, at a certain pace. Your body's kind of stagnant, but then once you get the heart pumping, you have all this blood flowing through your whole body.
Mm-hmm.
You got all this oxygen through your brain. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like you're gonna feel better because your body's just that much more active. So
Now here's the thing, right? And then when you don't do a lot of the things that you're supposed to do, right? And you want to have a balance, what do you start thinking about?
Stupid shit.
Stupid shit. Stupid fucking shit all the fucking time. Isn't that true? Why the fuck is Alberto winning more than me? Why the fuck is Fernando winning more than me? Why the fuck is fucking Gavino looking like a fucking model over here? Why you start thinking about all this stupid shit, but you never really think about
Yourself.
the right question. And look, here's the thing. I wanted to go into this. We're all envious. We're all fucking envious. But there's a difference with successful people on the way that they look at envy. Okay, and pay attention to this. When I look at somebody and they have more than me, I'm like, fuck, man. Fuck. And I look at it with that song like, fuck.
gotta do more.
I gotta do more.
Yeah.
That's right there.
Yeah.
It's the right way you become the right amount, the right envy. That's the way that you really look at that. And there's other people that look at somebody else, and what do they say?
Fuck, does he have that?
Yeah.
She doesn't deserve it.
He probably has a better
why
rate.
him?
I'm better
He probably has a better rate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, fucking Alberto has a higher rate than you.
Right.
And this dude is kicking your ass by 3 times, 4 times. Guess what he's doing? And you're not.
Right, working.
Working more.
Working, bro. And that's what we got to stay away from. And like that, this is why you got to like practice simple little things. And it's just being grateful for the things you have and understanding what you need to do to get to the next level. That is what you need to do.
Grateful and disciplined.
Grateful and disciplined. And here's the thing. We've heard it before, right? Edwin Arroyave says it, and this is fucking true. The more disciplined you are, the happier you'll be. If you're disciplined to show up to the gym every day, you're gonna start seeing results. You're gonna start liking who you are. You're gonna start liking that guy in the mirror, right? And you're gonna be happy. You're gonna go to work, right? You go to work and you go to work every day. You're gonna see results, right? And you're gonna like the way the bank account looks, and you're gonna be happier, right? That's the secret.
There was someone who talked something about it that said, I think it might have been the same. Edwin Arroyave said, if you continue to break those promises to yourself, you're not going to be happy with yourself, and you're going to always criticize yourself, compared to like if you continue to, promise and deliver to yourself, you're going to essentially find that balance. Because even if it might not be balanced for other people, to you, you're going to have that happiness because you know what you need to do. You're doing it every day. And even if it might not look balanced, inside you, you're going to feel fulfilled, and that's the balance that you need.
And I want to say, what's the time?
9:55.
Go ahead.
One of the things I noticed is when you have discipline, you say you're going to do something for yourself and you do it, you believe more in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you say something and you don't do it, you're like, fuck, I don't even trust myself. But if you deliver to yourself, you lift yourself up, you know?
Now how is it? And then people are like, no, I believe in myself. I'm like, okay, you believe in yourself. Let me give you a perfect fucking example how you can tell you don't believe in your fucking self, and that's the first thing you got to change, right? A smart guy said, here's the one thing you can do to fucking win in life. The number one thing you can do, and is take care of yourself, right? And here's the thing. Here's how you can tell that you don't trust yourself in keeping your promises, all right? You really want a car. And Fernando, he knows where I'm going with this. You really want a car, and you know you can afford it, but you don't buy it. And you're like, and you start making all these fucking stupid ass excuses. Oh, it's because of this. Oh, it's because of that. Oh, it's because of this. Oh, because my ass hurts, or whatever the fuck it is, you know? And I'm like, what are you talking about, right? Like, dude, you're making like 15, 20K a month. How the fuck can you not afford a fucking $900 payment? I don't understand, right? But I do understand why. Because you don't trust yourself. You don't trust your motherfucking self to stay consistent and go to work every fucking month. You don't trust yourself. That's why you fucking don't do it. That's why you don't get that fucking $3,000 apartment. That's why you don't buy that fucking house. Oh, the down payment's too much. Get the fuck out of here, man.
And
you know, it pisses me off, man. You don't trust yourself. You're not a professional.
And we had that conversation in LA like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Right? I was telling you, man, but it's because I even said the industry. It's because of this, because of that. And you stopped and you looked at me and you said, Fernie, you gotta realize that it doesn't fucking matter anything but what you do, and you gotta believe yourself that no matter what, you're gonna do it. No matter what, whether it's the industry, whether it's the pay, it doesn't fucking matter. What matters is what you do, you know?
Dude, we need that little fucking button, you know what I mean? Like that's the truth.
Which one was it? Was it this one?
No, I don't know which one it is, but do you trust yourself? Do you trust yourself? Can you fucking afford it? That is the question.
That no matter
and you
what,
can
you're gonna
always
win.
afford it. Yeah, you can always afford it. You can always do more. Stay out there and do one more deal. Dude, stay out there and do one more Saturday.
And when you put yourself in that situation, you can come with creative ways to make it happen.
Right.
Has it happened to you? Like, you need to get out of that hole, and you even come up with new ways to do it, and you're like, oh shit, I didn't know that was gonna work.
Yeah,
And you make it happen.
My first time getting my apartment, that was
Yeah,
that shit was,
because you have a massive apartment.
bro. Fucking, it was hard. It was not easy. I mean, my car broke down. Like, no bullshit. He actually gave me some money to fix my car. I had like $40 in my account. I drove all the way to Los Baños for my 2 appointments that I had, and I closed both of them because I needed to make it happen. And then from there, I was like, bro, I need to borrow money to get back. Like, I didn't have any money at all. So he sent me like $40, got back, and then from there, my momentum started. And that's, yeah, I just pulled the trigger. I was like, fuck it, dude. I spent like 15 racks just to like furnish my apartment and everything. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, so.
You just gotta trust yourself. And guess what, bro? Even when you trust yourself and you got 2 weeks and you haven't made any fucking money, that's when you will that shit to motherfucking happen. Because when you want it that bad, just like a fucking crack addict, you will find the motherfucking way to win. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? You will find a fucking way to win. It does not matter. Nothing matters. Trust me, I'm the perfect example, right? Like, when all my fucking top dudes didn't fucking work because they made more money than ever, because they got a fucking badass rate, they didn't go to work. Guess what I did? Was I counting just on them? Nope.
Went to work.
I just went to work and fucking decided to make sure that we got more recruits in, that we developed them, right? And that they went out there and they were able to be successful.
And that's one of the things you always say, no matter what, you're gonna fucking win.
That's exactly what, that's my global belief. No matter what, I don't give a fuck what happens. I'm gonna fucking win. Whether somebody wants to be a part of the team or they don't want to be a part of the team, guess what? We're gonna fucking win. We're gonna fucking win, bro, because that's just the uniform. Bro, I honestly believe the universe wants me to win and it wants me to win big. And guess what? It wants me to fucking become a fucking reality star, bro. And we're gonna become reality stars in this motherfucker. I am telling you guys.
We are.
That Gavino's gonna be there, man. Look at the way he's sitting, man.
Sorry, prepped.
Man, GC already looks like a celebrity.
That's what I'm saying, man. All right.
Any other things we should address?
You know
Like
what?
that
I
strong.
think we've hit enough points for today. Just fucking subscribe and share this shit. You know,
if you
that's
found,
it.
if you like this, share.